Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to begin. The Irish Spaghetti Podcast. Like and subscribe. Please enjoy the show.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Irish Spaghetti Podcast. We're your hosts, Billy G, Nikki P. Nick, how are you?
Never better in all my days.
Right on, my guy, right on. We just had some technical issues, but we're back. Okay,
Many.
right on, man.
This has been a rough start, guys. We came in, I got a brand new laptop. It's all fully set up. We go to turn it on. There's like 800 updates. Then the OBS software had to be updated. Then we had to redo the mics. Like, it's just been... This has been a long one, man. Dude, the camera wasn't working. These computers have a mind of their own. It's fucking strange. It's bizarre.
Have you had an okay week on top of this, like on top of the computer issues? My headphones broke. My car keys broke.
I forgot. But the car keys were your own fault, though.
Yeah, but I mean...
Didn't you put
chocolate?
Yeah.
Fucking, it's not like I had, battery
what
acid.
happened?
Yeah, so
battery acid.
So we had our tasting at work, and we had this big stupid, sundae, and they had the little gold chocolate coins.
I hope Corey doesn't watch this.
Such
Your big stupid sundae. They're all excited about it.
Their big overpriced stupid sundae, and they have little, the gimmick is money. That's the whole point of it.
Money.
Yeah, it's the OG sundae. Guy Fieri, he's real eccentric. He has a lot of weird stuff on that menu, but they garnish it with this $100 bill with his face on it, made it like fondant, and then they give these two little chocolate coins, and me and Nick are just flicking the coins like at the end of the day,
like Two-Face.
I said, I grabbed the coin. I didn't know I had the other one in my pocket, and I grabbed his coin, and I said, Nick, is this one yours too? And he said, no, they're yours, buddy. And I was like, oh, I'll give them to my kid. She likes stuff like this. So I go, it's only 111 degrees. I'll put it in my pocket. You know what I mean? So I put it in my pocket. I don't think nothing else. I go like a couple hours later, after I got home, I'm exhausted, by the way, too. Like, we're just rocking our brains, just like trying to memorize all this just ridiculous
stuff. 8 hours of information we just received.
Dude, yeah.
And trying to absorb all that.
It's just repetitive. And after a while, it's so repetitive that you just start to forget it. It's a really weird way how that works. But I go to reach in my pocket, and it's just sludge. It's like somebody took a shit in my pocket, and I'm rubbing my hand through the sludge, and I pull out. And by the way, it's like my phone, dude, nothing in this pocket. Okay. My phone, my keys, my wallet, everything. So I'm like, all right. So I start pulling things out one by one, and I get one of those Clorox little wet wipe thingies.
Yeah.
And I start just kind of like wiping off everything one by one, and my keys would not wipe off. Like, I'm trying to get in the sides. I'm like trying to
sludge.
Yeah, it just wouldn't wipe up. So I'm like, listen, I've been in the pool like a million times with my keys. So I'm like, let me just like sink it, try to get it underneath. So I sink it, and I'm doing this, and I'm telling you, man, like, listen, this whole week has just been rough.
Right, so basically he needs his keys to keep his car turned on.
Yes.
If the key fob's not close to the car, it just shuts off. So we were parked next to each other. When he goes to leave, I heard his car turn on and then just immediately die. And I didn't know why, but apparently this was the reason.
I'm waiting for my title, so I turn it on, and we're so tired, and I just want to be able
bought the car.
And by the way, it also takes an hour to get out of our parking garage right now, because where we work, the World Series of Poker is. So the car dies, and I just remember slamming my face into the steering wheel because I'm so frustrated at this point. My phone, I got issues there too. So listen, I don't want to get into everything. So I go downstairs, I find some Wi-Fi, and I start looking up things. The first thing I see is security, and I'm thinking that the lady who sold me the car, because right now I'm just waiting on the title, and I don't know if she's still expecting something. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this bitch then flicked the low jack on me. Like, I think she turned my car off.
Remotely shut your car off?
So I start cursing her name.
Is that even possible?
Yeah.
She could turn it off?
She could turn my car off from wherever I'm at. She has the ability. They take the low jack off pretty soon here. Yeah. She has the ability to turn.
Or they tell you they do.
Yeah. But they're the type where I got I don't have insurance, or I'm sorry, I don't have credit or insurance. Right
wait,
now.
hold on one second. I thought the low jack was just a GPS tracker so they could locate where the car is.
They could put a kill switch on it that kills your engine.
No shit.
And that's what I thought.
That's unsettling.
Yeah.
Oof. I don't like that.
So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right, dude. Like maybe Barbara got me. Like, so I'm pissed. So I'm like, so I'm
You know her name?
Yeah, yeah.
Barbara.
Dude, so
Maybe Barbara got me.
I'm like tripping. I'm thinking about calling
She's
her.
like, April Fool's, turns it back on.
Where are you at the freeway?
Just fucking.
Hi. Stupid. See ya. So I'm like mad, and I'm thinking about calling her up, but I can't even if I wanted to. But I didn't want to make any accusations. So then I tell
You call her up all pissed. And
yeah. Oh, dude, could you imagine, dude? But it's like I'm not thinking clearly because I'm telling you, like we worked that whole day. It's miserable.
All you want to do is leave.
I just want to leave.
That's all you want
and
to
dude,
do.
even when I do leave, it takes forever to get home. So I got that to look forward to. So I'm really like living at this way. And then I scroll a little bit further down, and it's like on one of those pages because there was a solid red light on there. And like, dude, listen. I've seen the check engine. I damn sure seen the gas light. I've seen the tires, I've seen all that. I've never seen a solid red light there. So I start scrolling it down, and then I see it. Fob not recognized.
Fuck.
So I like.
Is that when you realized it was the chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay.
The chocolate. Willy Wonka ruined my car. So I go back upstairs and I'm sitting there and it told me to plug the key in manually, flick it, and you should be okay.
Right.
So I get in my car and I turn that ignition and I go to back up and it's again. And it, dude, so now I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I take my finger and as hard as I can, I'm telling you, I almost broke my thumb, and I press the unlock button, and I hear the most beautiful noise I've ever heard in my life. That ain't that new. It's like, and the doors open up.
Like,
dude,
that washed over relief.
Dude, honestly, listen, man. I don't mean to sound like such a pussy, but after that day, I felt like crying because I'm.
Oh yeah, man, it's just frustrating.
Dude, I'm sitting like, you know that heavy breath. Like, it's hot, dude. So I don't have an air, and I'm like,
are you okay? So in peace,
yeah, man. Yeah, it's like security comes and there's somebody told us we heard a woman wailing up here.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I'll try to keep it down. You're on the top floor.
Oh my God, dude. So I'm sitting there. I'm just like, okay. So I finally get it, man. And that whole drive home, like through it, I just kind of like, just like what you just went through. It's like a rape.
Well, you got off market, like, what was it, 6? You probably didn't get home till like 8.
Yeah, it was bad.
At least 8.
It was dark by the time I got there. It was just, dude, it was just rough. So
dude, I was already showered and in bed.
Yeah.
You were still in the fucking parking lot.
And I still had to go to gym because I'm like sitting there. I'm like, all right, dude, like I'm trying to get my life together. I'm like trying to do the right thing. I still had to go to gym. So I pick up my headphones and like this is on the cusp of like my keys breaking, right? So I'm like all pissed off. So I grab my headphones and my headphones, like, you know how like when they're charging in the case, you see that green light?
Oh yeah.
It's a white light and it's like blinding me, and I'm like, what is this? Like, why are my headphones doing this? And sure enough, they don't work now, dude.
Damn.
So I took my headphones out, and I was mad, and I'm also on steroids right now. So I took my headphones out, and I got it. Like, you know how you like skip a rock? I took my headphones and I threw it against the wall, dude. And my mom, which is even worse, because now I'm throwing a tantrum. My mom has to say something. My mom's like, what was that?
You're getting scolded by your mother at 35.
So embarrassed. I go, no. So I've just had, dude, I've just had a rough week, and it's like to prove it, me and Aggie just went across the street to the gas station, right? Like Aggie goes in, grabs what he needs, right? And we walk out. So then I'm like, I'm thirsty. Let's go. Let's run over to Terrible's real quick, right?
I'm thirsty.
So I get to the door. There's no air, right, in our car, right? Me and Edgar are sweating our balls off, right? So I get to the door, and it says, back in 15 minutes.
It's the story of your life.
Dude, for real.
Everywhere you go, shit just goes wrong, man.
Oh my God. So I'm looking at the door and I'm like, that sucks. Like, I want a fountain drink and I'm dying for a fountain drink. You know what I mean?
No,
so
even worse, it says back in 15 minutes, but when you look through the door, you actually see him just standing back there, and he's just staring right at you, but he won't move.
Do you know the guys that work there? They're cool guys. They're like young white guys that are like talk gangster. They're funny. I like those.
I do
kids.
like most of them in
I
there.
like those kids. They're funny. Like, you know what I mean? But they're not the most responsible bunch. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, man. So me and Edgar leave, and I'm like trying to like hold my composure in front of Edgar, right? So I'm like, let's go across the street. So I almost murder me and Edgar driving on the road. Remember, Edgar? Dude, I pulled out in front of like 9 cars, dude. I'm like, I'm not waiting. Like, I'm not waiting. I'm hot. I want my drink, right? So we flip a bitch, and I go into 7-Eleven, right? 7-Eleven is like snack central, and they're also really good with their drinks, right? Like like 7-Eleven and Circle K and 7-Eleven both have like the bomb drinks, like great sodas, big,
Their selection is outrageous.
So there's 3 soda machines, like 3, and I'm not talking about like 3 little things. I'm talking about like 3 built in with Coke Zero, all this thing, a Pepsi machine, and then another Coke machine. Out of order. Every single one. That is why I'm drinking that expensive can.
Every time you extend your arm, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck no.
Dude, no, I didn't even make it over there. So I got like 5 feet in the store, and I look, and there's this like Serbian family, like 11 of them, all getting like drinks from the fizzy station, like the ices and stuff like that. I'm like, I'll just get them from the fridge, you know? So I walk
red
over
light
there.
comes on.
Yeah, the red light.
As soon as you step.
Sorry, the fridge is broke, you know? So I walk over there. I get it. I pay for it. I go outside. Me and Edgar are standing there. I bite my door because I'm mad. And I just like, I'm like pissed off. Like I can't even think, you know? So I finally did. Like I've been waiting for this drink for like a good minute. So I take it, and I remember like a couple of drips hit my tongue. I remember it going down my chest, and it was cooling my body off. That's how hot I was in this fucking car. Dude, I told Edgar when I was going into Terribles, I was like, bro, leave the window open. I was like, because I feel like I'm going to come back and he's going to be like, I'm gonna get arrested.
He just passes away while you're in the store.
Like how people leave. Dude, how do you leave a kid in a car? But like, you got to be gone. Like, you got to be
disgusting.
really like high. Like that. Imagine like would that be like, that'll get into our next story. But with leaving, all right, there couldn't be much worse ways to go than being a baby and like literally cooked alive, like what that terror and shit.
Oh, that'd be a
in
nightmare.
their head, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
sure.
like those submarine guys. Like we talked about it. Like listen, we joke about everything, and it's never too soon. So like, I don't care what anybody says, but it's kind of crazy that their bodies were like, you know, like twisting around like underneath there. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like, all right, what's scarier? Being covered of a wall of, you know what I mean? Like
the submarine is scarier.
yeah, the submarine's still
The submersible is way scarier than
cooking.
Because, dude, no, it's not. You're saying scarier, not more painful.
Scary.
Scarier is being in that submersible, 100,000% in the pitch black ocean.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so awful. At least you're in a car, you recognize it. You know where you are. Like, you see other cars passing by. There's hope. If you're in that submersible, there's no hope. You're just fucked.
Okay, maybe to a baby though, when you don't know what's going on, you're just like thinking baby shit, and it's just like it's just getting hotter and hotter. Like, dude, that's some evil shit. Yeah, like
just
gaga, you know what I mean?
They talk
gaga,
heads.
open the fucking window, it's hotter. You know what I mean? Like, there's not much else that could, you know what I mean, do that. That's bad.
Did you get it? That would be amazing.
I know. That's it.
Convincing.
That's it. Got him. Like fucking Mr. Miyagi. But
a pair of chopstick and you catch him.
But you know what my favorite was, dude? The newer Karate Kid with Jackie Chan. So there's a scene in that movie that always gives me goosebumps. It's at the end when Jaden Smith wins the competition. All the kids from all the other schools, they go over and they start bowing to Mr. Miyagi. That wasn't in the script. Or whatever his name was, that in the movie, that they said, listen, that's Jackie Chan. You show your respect. He's a national treasure. Right. So all the kids from the karate schools went and started bowing to him. So when you see Jackie Chan, like, you know, like don't, you know, that all those kids, that wasn't written in the script. That was respect.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's we talked about this. Jackie Chan's the man.
Love Jackie Chan. He really is a national treasure. That
dude,
guy.
He's so amazing. What a wonderful.
Think about how much entertainment he's provided to all of our lives over the last like 30 years. Quality.
Dude, think of his sacrifice, like breaking bones on every movie, and then like wrapping him up and wearing a suit so you don't see the.
He's getting taken off by a stretcher like literally every movie.
Yeah. And he was always doing his signature like thumbs up. He's awesome. He's the man. He's Jackie Chan. You know what I mean?
He's a special guy for sure.
But
what's on the docket?
man, let's jump into it,
buddy.
dude. Listen, we already talked a little about it. Yeah, man, like the countdown came and went. They find up not soon after they found pieces of the vessel floating to the top. So there's
But also,
no
it
hope.
was released that they knew on Sunday that the thing was destroyed, and they just didn't tell anybody for some unbeknownst reason. Did you hear about that? Yeah.
Like, were they thinking like somebody 300 feet in that depth, freezing cold water,
Yeah.
swam to the top?
No.
Like, they really thought that might be.
No, they knew on Sunday that it was destroyed and they were all dead.
Okay, so they knew like everybody on board perished. That was
Yes, they knew it was already destroyed. That's what I read, anyways. Yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of getting sick of like, you know,
I just getting like, why hide that? Why do this dog and pony show and pretend like there's hope and like do a fake rescue and all this bullshit, knowing they're all dead? Just tell us.
it's
You don't get it. It's like, obviously they're using that to distract us from all the other shit that's going on. That's what it seems like to me, anyways.
Yeah.
But
It's like, I mean, why do they? It kind of pisses me off.
maybe
that
to
they
get
to make
clicks,
that choice.
maybe to get views, they just make made up news for a few days.
They decide what we can handle or not, and it's like, no, you know what I mean? Like,
But there's always an agenda. I just wonder when they're sitting in that room why they decided. Yeah. And it's always underhanded. It's never to our benefit. They're not doing it like to be polite to us.
we found this guy's like skin, like all of his bones are shattered. They're like dust now, but like here's his skin, like they're dead. He's like, keep it under wraps, you know.
Just for a few more days.
What do you do with this?
But why?
With this human wetsuit now? You know what I mean? It's
Human wetsuit.
throw him in the trash bin over
But-
there, and you're just like folding him in, like
Drizzling.
it's kind of like
Like a toaster strudel, dude. Just drizzle them down.
heavy that blanket of flesh would be.
Oh my God.
It's heavy. Flesh is fucking heavy, dude. If you're just like sitting there holding up like a flesh, it's like, you know how
Like
I
a Halloween costume.
yeah, you look really bad, man.
That's hilarious. It's a drizzle.
Oh my god.
So-
What? All right, and you know, there's always some sick bastard on there that's like, "Hey, let me try him on," and and you like cut a little slit like right here in his belly, like put like his pants on and like flip it over.
He tries to take out a deposit at the bank with his skin on.
What if?
Tries
What if?
to rob his own.
How about this? What if they were so sick that he wore the flesh suit and they're like, hey, video call the family. And he's like, oh, I'm okay. Don't worry. I'm just fine. And you see the mouth underneath the tongue. He's like, we're just fine.
None of it lines up correctly.
It's like, no, we just went for a swim. We just like
Like, why is his nose on the side of his face? Oh my god!
water.
The Edgar suit from Men in Black.
Oh,
He
dude.
walks all fucked up.
Oh, I think it's over there. Oh, maybe like this. And you just start doing that.
Didn't she literally call him out? She's like, "Your skin is hanging off your bones."
Yeah, dude, but would you do? I wouldn't mess with him. She was the only one smart enough in the movie not to like bust his balls about anything.
Yeah.
He's like, sugar. She's like,
Water. He's like, more.
yeah.
More.
You know what's funny? That redhead that plays her is like the most practical person in every movie. Like, you ever seen her in
He
other
plays the
movies?
same.
Yeah, she's always like, you know, the one that like gets it. You know what I mean? She just has that look on her face. But yeah, I mean, they're all
I just hope that it happened fast for them. I'm not even bullshitting.
yeah.
I really just hope it was just like crisp and you're done. Like, you don't even know what's happening.
Dude, listen, there at some point you got to just be another human, and I don't care about the whole eat the rich, you know, that everybody wants. Listen, those are five
It's
people.
a shame.
Yeah, like there was definitely good in those people, no matter what, and they didn't deserve that. Now, do you need to be empathetic about everything? No, I think there was a lot of carelessness, and I think that
Well, they're-
yeah,
think.
you
That's-
see
that's
the
been
oversight. Yeah,
They
that took
literally said
place.
themselves, we didn't do shit at all. Like, they didn't even do all the inspections.
Yeah. I told you. I don't want to get into the weird. You know, I always get weird. I told you what he said at that meeting that he had at that pissed me
How
off.
he didn't want to hire 50-year-old white
Yeah,
guys.
and
Yeah,
it's like-
everyone's pissed about it.
Dude, the truth is, it's like,
How'd that work out for you, buddy?
yeah.
Jesus.
How about, you know, then at least find ones that, you know, meet the same criteria. You know what I mean? You know, you hired a bunch of kids and he's like, you know, some kids got the game because I do this at home. Yeah, well, you don't have extra lives here, pal. You know what I mean?
You can't respawn.
Yeah. Well, that Mario sure made it back, didn't he? You know?
Like,
It's like, what are you doing, man?
the whole thing was like duct taped together. Like, it was not a good.
It was. It
Yeah.
was bad. It's like, I don't know. It's like, man, a billionaire, you don't see where the money went. That's for sure.
Also, why do you need to personally go down there and look at it with your own eyes? That's what I think is bizarre. There's enough footage. There's enough pictures. Like, it's not going to be any different. You just being there.
Dude, you're just sitting there rolling around and it's all green and mucky and foggy.
You probably have a better view than if you just saw camera footage of it. You know what I mean?
Why didn't you just
a worse view in the submarine?
Why didn't you just take the yacht out that week?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go to Barbados or something like that. Barbados. Why don't you just go to Barbados or something like that? Go see weird islands. There was you're a billionaire. Everybody doesn't need to be Richard Branson flying out of airplanes and shit like that. Yeah. No, stop.
From what I understand, I'm not defending him. From what I understand, though, he was infatuated with the Titanic. Like, he had this weird obsession with it or something like this. Which, look where obsession gets you.
Hey, exactly. Curiosity
the story
killed the cat.
And those 5 people.
Meow.
Not just the cat. I'm sorry. Meow.
It didn't work. Bye.
What else do we got? I feel like everyone's talked about the submarine to death.
Look, the truth is, for all you guys out there,
submersible,
curious, why we're doing shows in between. Man, we're trying to make this thing work. We've been super busy lately. It's not easy getting back in the swing of things, of going from having nothing to do to all of a sudden you got this full-time gig and also lots of homework.
Everyone's brand new. It's a completely new job.
Yeah. You know what? Do you think even though that we're doing this now, that physical pain that you feel for the first few days when you go back?
Yeah, I was talking about that.
Will we still get that?
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah, we'll still get our asses kicked.
Come home and just pass out. It's gonna be hard for the first week.
I was hoping there would be some way to avoid that with this kind of long training, but it's not.
No,
we're gonna
your
go
body's
home,
just not used to
and
it.
It's gonna hurt.
You're gonna be in pain. Well, blisters and shit. It's gonna be, you know how it is in restaurants. You take 9 million steps a day.
Yeah. Well, speaking of pain and humans soon not to be with us, Bam Margera leaves Rehab earlier. He left earlier today. He said he's headed to Vegas. Woohoo! Party, right? Listen, we were having a conversation.
That guy's got 6 months to live.
Well, yeah, we were having a conversation there. He's unsavable.
Yeah,
he's
gone.
His family.
He's got that enormous alcohol head.
Yeah. You know what used to piss me off in Rehab, man? I'd sit across in the stupid chairs in the group, and I'd sit across from these people, and they'd be the same thing every time. I want to do it for my kids. I want to be there for my kids. It's like, you're lying. Fuck you. No, you're lying. Fuck you. You already did it. Yes. You had already done this. You're lying. And
this is court mandated.
Dude, honestly.
Not fooling anybody.
Yeah. Dude, and they would do that, man. And the war stories, man, they'd all be in there telling you the war stories. Rehab's so annoying, man. I didn't find, listen, people, different things work for people. Mm-hmm. We had a guy that was praying in there every single day. I knew that fool wasn't gonna make it. We had this other kid, this rich kid. He was born with half his heart. I found out he died, but he actually got clean before. This little Asian dude was really cool.
That makes it worse.
He
finally overcame it, and then he died.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up,
man.
We had 10 decks of Uno cards, and we'd be in the rec room and playing Uno. Endless games. It was, dude, the only thing that would pass time. And then one day, they had the kids. Oh my God! How about this? I was sitting there watching TV one time. You know that movie, Immortals? Everybody seen that? You know,
I love that movie. That's a good one.
Great movie.
Yeah.
It's Henry Cavill before Superman.
That's right.
Exactly.
I forgot about that. Yes.
So I'm sitting there and I'm enjoying Immortals, dude, and people are outside smoking and stuff like that. So I finally got some peace and quiet. I hated having a roomie and stuff. It annoyed me so bad. And I'm sitting on the couch, right? I'm just kind of sitting there, and you're on all sorts of shit, you know what I mean? Like they give you anxiety pills and sleeping pills and stuff like that. So you're kind of out of it. Rehab's a blast for that because you're just kind of gone. And I'm sitting on the couch and I'm watching Immortals, and the kids unit walks by, and there's a big window from the cafeteria to the kids unit, and they're walking by, and he goes, and I see the counselor, and you can't hear, but he's like, and I know what he's saying. He's like, you see that? All you motherfuckers are going to end up like that if you keep.
He's just heckling him as he walks by. And then he's like, welcome.
I'm watching a fucking movie. Yeah. You know, I'm not, I almost wanted to knock on the window and go, not that bad. I wanted to knock on the window. He's sitting there and he's pointing.
I'm not that bad.
I'm not joking. They finally walked away. I'm in a room alone, embarrassed. Like, dude, I'm embarrassed like crazy because I'm like, what the fuck did I just get that for? What did I get that for?
It's like you.
Yeah.
Every time he sees you walking around after that, he's like,
Dude, and you know what, dude, even worse, dude, like I look at their little faces, right? And they're all like this, they're like this. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm sorry, like, what do I have? Like, is there somebody behind me? And it was like bothering
it's
me.
just you in the room.
Dude, it was
You
bothering
can't even pretend like it was meant for somebody else.
And one more thing about Rehab, I swear to God, I'll let it go. But
No, I don't give a shit.
this is what bothered me more than anything. My dad told me, he's like, dude, let me tell you something. He's like, two things that's bomb about Seven Hills. He's like, the food, and he's like, and they got, he's like, the only place that got drinks in there. He's like, you got this never ending soda machine. This way you could like drink, and you know, it's just kind of loungy. Right. You can enjoy yourself. And I get there, and there's no soda machine in the kitchen.
Plastic bill. Or
yeah.
broken. Either it wasn't going to be there, or it wasn't. It won't
work. They completely got rid of it. And they had juices with these like little plastic cups. And I go, excuse me. I go, is there a soda machine? And they go, we took that out
yesterday.
Yeah. And it pissed me off.
Before you got there.
Dude, I'm like, sure.
Even worse is if you're approaching the soda tower and you have your cup extended.
And they start taking it.
And the guys, they just pick it up and just walk out of the room. It's like,
man,
just holding the cup.
Like overall, that's looking up in hats, and they're just like walking it out. Dude,
you're just holding the cup out, doing a sad look in your eyes.
I remember like a couple days later, I'm on the payphone with like, because they had this little payphone where you make like calls, like you get a call like once a week, right?
Yeah.
So I'm on the payphone, and my dad's like, "How's it going in there, bud?" And the first thing I said to him, like, they got rid of the soda machine. And I was so mad.
The worst part is that you didn't even know about it until he got you excited about it. Yeah.
Set me up,
you could have just walked in there and it just would have been what it was and you wouldn't have known the difference.
I promise you, they're not looking like I'm on Suboxone, right? Like I'm on Suboxone right now. When you get in there, you go and you see Dr. Vilt, like he's like the doctor, like for Seven Hills, and you go in there.
Mad scientist.
Dude, he's bad.
What kind of name is this?
He's not good. And he gets in there and he's like, all right. He's like, I told him, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, heroin, pills, and Suboxone. And he goes, okay. He goes, we're gonna start you off on one Suboxone for 2 days. We're gonna go down to a half, and we're gonna keep going down. I'm like, dude, don't you get it? That's a problem. Like, what are you talking about? So I denied the Suboxone. Didn't matter anyway. He like adjusted everything else. So I was just like a zombie. Yeah. I remember like I went home when I finally did go home. I slept for like a 2 day, and right when that medicine wore off, I was dying.
For real?
Dude.
Like immediately? Dude, like hitting a wall.
Immediately. And I knew that whatever blockers they gave me in there had just ran out. So it's almost kind of like, listen, be cool while you're here. Don't fucking annoy the staff. Yeah. The days of you going into rehab, like and on China White and vomiting, and like, you know, the movies, remember like they
put you in like a room.
Yeah. And you're like,
they're like strapping you down.
New Jack City.
Yeah.
You ever seen New Jack City?
No.
Right. New Jack City with Chris Rock. Ice-T was like holding him and he's sweating for days and he's vomiting, and it's like, and like you see this, that's how it used to be. Like that people like
the brink of death.
Yeah, people like complimented that movie for how the realism like that took place, and he like got his life together. And then,
so now you just do a chemical cocktail and you chill.
And you're done. And you're done. And you
That's not bad.
Yeah, you play. Yeah, but I'm telling you, man,
not bad at all.
I'm telling you, like, not that it was.
I would do that shit for vacation, man. I just want to go to a rehab and just get.
Yeah, but not that there was a big helping rate before anyway, because there is still the return rate is still ridiculous, just like prison.
Right.
Like just like people go to prison, you know, you're like, well, now that you've been here, I bet you're not coming back, and they're like, no sir,
it's a revolving door.
They're in it the next day. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about these institutions. 3 hots in a cot, baby. I promise you. Again, right now, what I'm doing right now, before how I was living then, is much easier. Much easier.
Once you get into the swing of it and everything, probably.
Remember the working men?
But you have to fight all the time, and like people stab each other. That shit's real.
No, dude. Listen, my buddy
Anthony, I watched a podcast, Tom Segura's podcast, and he had this white dude on that was like a massive coke. Did you watch the episode? The cocaine.
I've seen a million of those.
Dude, all he talked about was like how you have to scrap all the time to defend yourself.
Look at me. I swear to God. Remember how we talked about the tough guy stories and how they all got him. Just
you didn't see this episode because this guy's not one of them. He's like a normal, like chill ass dude. Like he had no business even being in there.
I'm not saying that shit doesn't.
I think that he's not lying.
Especially a max security gang prison and stuff like that. I completely understand. Yes, it is volatile. Yes, you do fight and stuff like that.
He was talking about riots.
But dude, honestly, on the grand scale of things, stuff like that, you know, you go in there, you're probably gonna have to fight. You know what I mean? But I'm saying,
he said on the first day, he's like, they make you fight. He's like, you're fighting the other new guy. Yeah. He's like, and if you don't, then they'll kick the shit out of you, basically.
But in like, let's say you do like a 5-year stretch, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say, and this is what I told him. My buddy Anthony went into gladiator school when he was young. He said,
Gladiator school.
Max, he went into high desert when he was,
okay.
Yeah. And so when the kids go in there, when you're kind of underage like that, you know what I mean? They call it gladiator school.
That makes sense.
Yeah. He said, it's
we who are about to die.
He told me, and because he always had a tough guy attitude. He told me the bus up there, he said that it was fear that he's never known before.
Really?
He said that he was so scared. He said he was trembling, and all you can do is like keep like a straight face in there, and he'd see all the old timers and stuff like that. And he wanted, and they match up the young guys with older cellies, so this way they kind of show him the ropes and stuff like that. He said he got into 2 fights the entire time he was in there, and he did about 3 years. He said
that's not bad for 3 years.
He said one of them was kind of like set up, like it was like this. It was like one of the woods. Well, no, he said, hey, can they? He asked him. He's like, first they ask you if you're short time or whatever, and then I mean, listen, this is firsthand information from him, and I don't see him lying. He just wasn't like that.
Right.
And he told me, he said the one of the shot callers came up and he said, hey homie, can you fight? And he said yes, which was a mistake because the guys that can fight in there, he's like okay, so
they want to challenge him.
He's wanting to fight this black guy and he got his ass beat, and they were like, whatever, no big deal. It's like, honestly, like you said, like, listen, they are fighting in there, but it's like, it's such a normal thing, but it's not for everyone every single day, a constant fucking volatile thing.
No.
And then he said the next time, he said 2 guys that I knew, Jesse Joyle and Anthony Olmstead, both came out and told me about this dude, Richie Fortune, who had selective breed. He was a wood, and he had selective breed tattooed on the back of his head, and he was this crazy Nazi. And he said that they were playing dominoes, and he said that he would let him win.
Right.
He said because his dad showed him all these bar games, like he was really good at darts, handball, all this stuff, and he was playing dominoes, and he would let him win. And he said he just wanted things like pass, like easy.
Right.
And he said one time he threw down domino, and then the other dude got dominoes, and Anthony said, "Ain't that about a bitch?" And he said just like that. He said, "Ain't that about a bitch?" And he said Richie Fortune jumped up, and he thought he called him a bitch. Slammed his hands on the table, and Anthony said he knew that he couldn't go out like that. So he said he put his hand out, he lifted up, and then he said the next thing you know, he had some dude stand over and was like, "You good? Hey homie, you good?" And
he got knocked out cold.
Clean, done.
He traveled through time.
Yeah,
he got washed.
Yeah, and then
that's the worst.
Yeah,
you don't want to wake up and go, "What the fuck happened?"
Honestly, I'd rather that than
when you get knocked out.
Animal.
You know when you get knocked out, your memory resets like back, like you don't remember like a few seconds before.
Like a lot of times, actually like pause time and then reverse it.
Basically, yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, like a lot of times, like when a boxer gets knocked out, he has no idea what shot even hit him. Like a lot of times, they don't even realize it. They don't even remember what happened until they're in the locker room. Some of the times, so like, dude, yeah, like I woke up in the locker room, even though they're like walking and talking, like their memory's not there. It's crazy.
That's scary, dude. That's
that CT is real.
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
Well, yeah, man. Like, and so many of those boxers, like. It used to be kind of like you don't talk about it in the boxing community, especially. It used to be like where you don't talk about it. Now it's like kind of like it's obvious.
Yeah.
You know, Sonny Liston,
it's obvious.
Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali, all these guys, man, they're walking around and
just babbling.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Scary it is, man. I mean, I think that's why, honestly.
I told you Vander Holyfield used to come into the restaurant. He can't even speak English anymore.
Are you kidding me?
His entourage just like reaffirms everything he says, like, yeah, that's right, champ.
And I can,
but they don't catch a word. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Some chili cheese fries, like, and the dude's like,
he literally babbles. Fries. He's literally just like, blah, 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 blah. They're like, that's what's up, champ.
Dude, that's
got it, champ.
Yeah, all right, champ.
Everything is just champ.
Shadow, that's it. Every time he says, yeah, champ.
He takes his sip of water and just drizzles out on his shirt.
He's like poking the straw into his cheek. He's like,
"That's a good sip, champ."
Yeah, champ. You drink that water, man. Put some Gatorade. He goes,
"That's hilarious,
dude." I think that'd be one of the, like, honestly, people.
How horrible.
People always say like, "Oh, the yes man around these celebrities." That cannot be.
He needs it though. He needs it. Yeah,
that could not be an easy job. Could you imagine like being like? Do you remember that kid, Little Xan?
No.
Could you imagine walking around like one of those new age rappers? And
who's Little Xan?
He's a new age rapper. He's the white kid with the tattoos and stuff like that. But could you imagine like like hyping them up all the time. Like, yeah,
No, that would be exhausting.
dude, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Dude,
I think they earn their money.
When you're like
I think they
repressing
earn it.
everything, so
Yeah.
then when you get to your room late at night, you're just like, that piece of shit. I fucking hate this cocksucker.
Yes, and I'm telling you right now, to do that, to hustle somebody like that 24/7, that's not some
Be a
ignorant
hype guy.
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like either you're really friends with them, or but if you're just hyping them up 24/7, you must like every time they do something stupid, you be like, great.
That reminds me-
fucking kidding.
You've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Love it.
One of my favorites. I just
Yeah.
watched it for the first time like a week ago. But you know, like Brad Pitt's always hyping up DiCaprio's character, and they go back to his house and they're watching his own movie.
Yeah.
And he jumps out of the back of that pickup truck and he's like, "That was a smooth leap." he compliments everything
Dude,
he
he's
does,
the
literally.
best, dude. Remember he told him he's like you're a good friend. I forgot his name.
He gives him the sunglasses. He goes, "Don't cry in front of the Mexicans." I was like, "Oh shit!" He gives him the
He
sunglasses.
was so good, man.
I love that movie. That when he's having the nervous breakdown next to the little girl on the set when she's reading the book.
Yeah.
And he's like, "In 15 years, this will be your life." Like,
Yeah.
he's just shitting on her.
And then she's like, that was some of the greatest acting I ever seen. He's like,
He starts crying.
he's on set, like
He's super
losing.
insecure when he's
What
in
a
his
movie.
when he's back in his Winnebago and he's like scolding himself in the mirror.
Yeah.
He's like, "I swear to fucking God, if you don't get your lines right, I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out." He's like staring into his own eyes.
That was such a good
He's like, "You had to have
movie,
8 whiskey sours. It couldn't be 4." He's just shitting on himself.
dude. Oh my
I
goodness.
love that movie.
Dude, did you even like see where that was going?
No,
To
no.
the Sharon
Genius.
Tate murders?
Genius.
Yeah, he tied that in there.
Yeah.
Like dude, when he goes, he's like Roman fucking Polanski. I was so and dude, like I'm like I wonder, like could it possibly have that happen? And then sure enough, man, one of the only books that like I ever read, and it was one of the biggest books I read too.
Right.
Was Helter Skelter. I just thought that was so cool.
I
You know
love
what
how
mean?
Tarantino rewrites history in a lot of his movies.
Because you know what?
I think that's genius.
Those people did not deserve that, especially sweet little Sharon
Like
Tate. You know what I mean?
He does like the version of history that you want to see, that you wish actually happened. Basically,
My God, like
Anything
just
Glorious
yeah,
Bastards.
And
Hateful Eight, yes, yeah.
He killed it. Yeah, you're right, man.
The end, like remember they're all in the car getting ready to go in and murder everyone in the house. You know, like the 4 hippies in the car,
Yeah.
and DiCaprio comes out with the pitcher of margaritas. He's hammered, and he's like, "What are you looking at, you ginger fucker?" He's like, "Get this mechanical asshole off my block."
Homeboy's got that Magnum in his lap. It's like, okay, man,
It's
stop
just
yelling
shits
at
on
me.
the whole time.
To the brink of insanity. He's like about to go murder these people. This guy's just shouting at him.
The redheaded girl, though, man, you ginger fucker.
Dude.
He looks her right in the face.
I was so worried that they were gonna
That
get
movie.
Brad Pitt, and then when his dog jumped up, and you see that like ever so light gesture, he's like,
Oh yeah,
and that dog,
that was amazing.
dude, and you knew he
The
was.
best is when he has her by the back of her hair and he's just smashing her face into the whole house.
Oh my God.
He has her on like the fucking brick.
And I know your white little face. Ah, man, what a movie.
That movie's gold. But anyway, where were we going with this?
No worries. They found out that so they put all his movies together, and Brad Pitt even made a joke about it. But Quentin Tarantino has like a big time foot fetish.
She was telling me,
Yeah.
Jenny was telling me about that, and like, dude, I noticed it now that there's like a foot in every scene. It's crazy.
It's the most apparent when she was like moving, and it was
Wiggle
real
your big
close,
toe.
wiggle your big toe, and her dude.
But that made sense in the scene, though. I didn't understand that was like a fetishistic thing.
Yeah, but
it's
it's
weird.
like finger. And oh no, because she couldn't drag her legs. That's right. Yeah.
So it made sense. So I never noticed it, but now all you see is feet. Dude,
everywhere.
It's crazy,
dude. Even the chick when she throws her legs in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
on
and
the
she's
car?
like, "You want me to suck your cock?"
Oh yes, yeah. She puts her feet up on the dashboard. Yeah,
Dude, I'm telling you, man, that's pretty dope, man. You know what I mean?
that movie's greatness.
He paid a stripper $10,000, and he said, I don't know if he was licking her feet or she was licking his feet. I'm hoping he was licking her feet, but he wanted to lick her feet until they looked like raisins.
Ew.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
But you know what though? Not the worst thing that she's ever heard. That was probably an easy day at the office for her, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. What is this, kindergarten? What do you mean? What do you mean you don't want to drink?
Remember my first beer?
You don't want to drink a Bloody Mary out of my asshole? Okay. Like, fine, sure.
Nickel. You try to pair with chocolate money.
Nick, I don't know if you know this, but the people in Russia get a little bit crazy sometimes. There's a coup that was taking place earlier today. They captured 2 cities. It's some dude by the name of Prigozhin's. Prigozhin's, and I guess he was
Prigozhin's.
Yeah, Prigozhin's. Do you want to pronounce that?
Down?
Whatever that is.
No, that's good enough.
Is that good enough? Right?
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to butcher that.
I mean, listen, whatever that is, that's it. But he captured 2 smaller cities, and then I think they got like balls, like they got confidence.
They start getting momentum.
Yeah. So they're like, you know what, baby? Let's take it to Moscow. Putin just standing at the top of some tower, like looking at him, like coming in, is like, put an end to this shit.
Is that what happened? He smashed them?
Dude, so he smashed them so bad. There was all these trucks all blown out on the freeways and stuff like that. He smashed them so bad that they didn't retreat.
Up a good fight. Like they just got decimated.
I'm telling you right now, every single one of those guys that like joined that rebellion, I'm telling you right now, cyanide capsules better come standard.
Yes, man, 100%.
Dude, if you get busted and you got to face Putin,
or if you get captured,
could you imagine what he knows about like torture? What he would do?
He was the real deal too. He was like a highly trained KGB operative.
Yeah, dude, that dude is sick, dude. Like, and it's funny because you see all these videos like whipping people's ass stuff like. And I think some dude like played a joke on him one time and like moved something, and Putin walked behind him, and like this dude's like a respected like member of like his Congress, and Putin moved his seat. The guy like falls on his ass, and he's like 60 years old and real like out of shape. Like he has a bad back.
Are you serious?
He's sitting there on the ground like hella hurt. He's like, Putin's so crazy.
He's doing the cry laugh. just tears streaming down his face.
And Putin just sitting there like, don't do it.
Paralyzed.
So yeah, dude, get like a wheelchair, please.
Like, still trying to laugh.
But yeah, man, like I honestly that there's some brave souls, man, especially rolling up in his house trying to like tell him to down.
He crushed the rebellion.
So from what I gathered, and it's not much because listen, I wasn't sitting around watching Russian news all day, but from what I gathered, I think the dude's unhappy about how the war is going in Ukraine, which is everybody's kind of taking a step back because it's like this is now the second time that Russia just looks silly. Like the Cold War, they were literally bought out. Like they ran out of money. They were getting stuck in these little towns just out of fuel and stuff. Like they look silly. Like
remember that? Is that what happened?
Yeah, and so I
thought that the Cold War was like more of a political war. There was no actual military.
Well, there was some military, but
it was posturing.
Yeah, but they got bought out. Like basically, in the end, they ran out of money. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of like, all right, like now this is the second time where it's like, all right, like who's running this
laughing stock of the entire world.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Yeah, Gorbachev, right? And then it was like kind of like, you know what I mean?
Is that what happened? I'm not good on history.
Yeah, but it's like, all right, now is the second time. It's like almost like Russia looks scary, but it's like, you know, like.
But once you confront them, they just fall to pieces.
Yeah. Like they need to quit that shit because I think China's like pretty capable of doing stuff.
I'm sure. There's no doubt.
I mean, dude, once you get those drums,
yes,
you're like, dude,
all they do,
crazy.
All they do is crank out engineers and work 20 hours a day. I'm sure they're competent.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah. And I don't know what they're sitting on in terms of like nuclear, like arms and stuff like that. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're decent.
Yeah.
They seem to be competent if you just look at them. Yeah.
You're right. They do. They shell out very smart people. They're, university there is a big deal.
They're much smarter than you are. Like their schooling is way better than ours. As a nation.
Is that even a brag anymore?
No. Fair enough.
Aren't we really low? Like, isn't like education really low?
Yeah, we're almost like a third world country, basically.
I've said it before and I said it again. I remember I heard this statistic one time that we were like number 17th or maybe lower in education, but number 1 in confidence. So it's like
America, baby.
Yeah, we're dumb, but we're proud of it. You know what I mean?
Like us.
But I think that what keeps us so ahead of everybody, I think it's the common sense thing. I don't think that we're book smart. I think that
you think we have more common sense?
Yes, I think America has more common sense.
I'm not an anti-America guy, so I'm not really being like, fuck America. There's stupid people everywhere and there's smart people everywhere, but I wouldn't say that we have a greater like propensity towards common sense than any other ways.
I think so.
Tell me why though. Give me why. I know you feel that way.
Absolutely. Just walking down the street in any of these countries, be it China or be it anything like that, like even our construction workers, we build the best and biggest buildings. Now, I don't
know about that. Dubai, baby.
Okay.
Have you seen Dubai?
Sure.
Everything they build is ridiculous.
But then go to Baghdad or Pakistan, go anywhere around there and they're still building mud huts and stuff like that.
Tokyo's outrageous.
Sure. Okay.
places in Japan
But
are
I mean,
outrageous.
but again, Japan's pretty, one city within, all of Asia. You know what I'm saying? We have 50 states with downtowns that are pretty amazing across the board. I'd say I'm telling you, I think for the street smarts and the common sense part, I think Americans have the lead on that. Like, it's funny because it's like, have you ever talked to a foreign person, and no matter what they are, like I've taken care, like I'm in the business of it. I've taken care of doctors, and talking to them, they come off kind of naive.
Do they?
Yeah.
I've never noticed that.
Weird. Look, man.
I'd like to travel and spend some time in other countries to kind of get a feel for it.
It's like, is there a test to like
if you meet someone that doesn't have any, they don't, but you could say why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could say why they don't have common sense.
It's like you go to India and like, I could take my lighter in India and go, ooh, fire.
I don't think that's how it works. They've never seen fire before. What do you picture them like in loincloths?
No, but I'm saying it's like, dude, like anywhere in India, even New Delhi and stuff like that. Like it's a shithole everywhere you go. Everybody's still walking around in rags and no shoes and stuff like that. And that's just not the case out there. Like I don't know. I just think that Americans
but you're talking about economics. You're not talking about intelligence or common sense. You're just saying that they're poor.
Okay,
that's basically, you could be a poor genius.
But but even like again, back to like construction and buildings and stuff like that. Like even bad neighborhoods got like pretty nice housing and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Out here,
yeah. Like I don't know, man. Like look, I think. I don't know.
I understand. I'd have to look into what you're saying to like be able to validate it.
It's a tough. Listen, I'm not,
because I don't know a lot about other countries. Unfortunately,
it's validated. I'm saying this is just how I feel. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Like I think. How about this? All of them, all the best and brightest from those countries come here for school
because the economics, not because we're smarter.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. It's like,
what do you mean they come here for school?
For university.
Well, because you have to graduate from school in America to use your degrees. Like if you're a doctor a doctor in like Hungary, you can't practice medicine here. You have to become a doctor in America. So I think that's more what that is.
Why?
I'm not saying that we have I'm not saying we have no great schools. So I'm sure that we have some really good ones, like a handful, but in general, I think we lag. Yeah, personally,
I think like even in India, I think that their grade school could probably beat out our high schools.
Not for nothing though. Every time I talk to someone like that's from either like Germany or like the UK, they're all way smarter than us in general. Like just cultured, understanding of the world. You know what I mean? Like world politics. They can have like deeper conversations. Yeah, they're smarter than we are in general.
Like
we have to talk to them,
or something like that.
Dude, I'm telling you, like Germans and UK people especially. Yeah. When you talk to them, they're worldly, they're cultured because they're not just focused on their only country, just their country. They kind of focus on all of it, like the whole Eastern European nations and all that stuff. So they kind of have like roots in all these different countries and different cultures and different ways of looking at things. Yeah. We're just like America, fuck everybody else. We only think about what's going on here. Yeah. They're kind of more steeped in global culture is the best way I could say that.
I was talking to this German car collector one time and he had all...
they know who other presidents are in other countries and they know their politics and their issues that they're facing and what they're dealing with. We don't know that shit. We know the guys that are like, we know Putin because he's on the news every day. Yeah. You know what I mean? We know whatever Z because he's on the news every day and that's pretty much it.
But again, like that's more of a book smart thing. You know what I mean? Like, see, it's kind of the weird line between the common sense and the book smart. Yeah, I do. I know the people that you're talking about, like the Germans and the Swedes that are very smart.
Yes. Hungarians too. Hungarians are smart as
combustion engines and shit like that. Like the shit that they know.
Yes.
But it's... listen, I can't prove it. And you know what I mean? It's one of those things like, I don't know, like,
no, you're just stating your point of view. There's no way we can get to the bottom of this. I'm playing devil's advocate.
I feel like Americans got a better grasp on life, maybe from the freedoms that we get than, just keeping your head buried in a book and going to town on that sucker day and night to get out of your bad country or your poor country. Does it make sense?
Yes.
You feel me? But still, I mean, it's just one asshole's opinion on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to it, Listen, I don't got a lot of common sense.
After all that.
All right, I'll tell you what, Nick. So that's that. A little bit of entertainment news. Ooh. The Flash is going to be a flash in the pan. It is not doing well.
Good.
The $250, a $250 million to make. It's been reshot 6 times. It's had 3 different directors.
Was it really?
Yeah, I heard it was a nightmare.
It's obviously not going to do well.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare from the jump. You can't have 3 different directors and reshoot it.
First, sets. Like,
Why don't you just guys scrap everything and just restart the whole project? You know what I mean? Like, don't try to save it.
I think they did.
Seriously?
Yeah, I think they did so much reshooting, and you got 3 different visions, 3 different ideas going into these things. And I think they.
Why did they keep changing directors and doing all this?
I think maybe pressure from.
I mean, something must have been happening.
Something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like
I know, like Zack Snyder's Justice League, something happened to I think one of his kids, right? He had to drop it.
His daughter committed suicide, and then he did not like the final cut that the other dude did, so he came back.
But I'm
and
just
did
saying,
that
like
4-hour cut.
that he dropped out makes sense, but how do you have 3 of them coming back?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
I don't know.
They all have personal emergencies. I'm interested.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna look into that.
So whatever it was, you could probably just deem it like a clusterfuck. You know what I mean? But it's also it's like they had these. You got Michael Keaton, and that was supposed to be the big draw. Like, hey man, Tim Burton's Batman is here, baby. We got Supergirl, and how like we were talking about like they got to do the girl boss in every movie.
Right.
I heard she actually did a great job.
Okay,
I heard Supergirl.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I heard Supergirl was actually a pretty good addition to the movie, but it wasn't enough. I mean, I don't know. People want to blame Ezra Miller for it, but it's like I don't hear people hate him that much. You know what I mean? I just think that people are just done with the capes, man. You know what I mean?
That's possible.
But it's like how many
more than it being him? They're just tired of the franchise itself.
But, don't they always put out a new phase, and don't they go through it? Yeah. Like, do you think that they'll stop? Like, do you think they're just like, okay, this is the last phase or something like that?
Not for nothing, though. For some reason, and I don't know why, but like DC has always trailed Marvel. Yeah. Like in the comics and in the movies, just forever. Yeah. Marvel's always been more exciting and more fun and more successful in general.
Yeah, and they had a wonderful team with like Robert Downey Jr. and stuff like that.
Like that truth of the comics books translated into the movies also. I think that's interesting. Outside of the Batmans, of course. Everyone loves Batman.
They couldn't even get I think because he's not the most well-known superhero. Like nobody's ever said like the Flash is my favorite superhero. It's just
love the Flash.
Sure, but he's not your favorite.
He's one of them.
But who's your favorite?
Spider-Man.
Come on, man.
All day.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Dude, easy.
So, but that he's cool. He really is. Like the idea of running
Flash is amazing, dude. Yes. Yeah, he has all kinds of powers.
But he's never going to be in the number 1 seat. So I think that's a rough one to sell. And the villains, unless you're like really versed in the comics, you know who the villain is in this one? Zod.
Oh, no shit.
Yes, they took that dude from a movie 10 years ago and brought him back. It's like
why though?
Because the Flash villains weren't as popular,
like mainstream. Yes. I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? So dude,
recognizable.
In the end, what do you got? You got a bunch of weird things happening. Like they never explain why Supergirl is a girl in this one.
Right.
Whatever, multiverse, whatever. They were saying that like why Michael Keaton Batman is there. They showed a couple cameos from like Wonder Woman. And
so it's just a bad movie. Dude, like it's not like because of woke shit or because of politics. Exactly. They just made a shitty film. That's all it is.
Definitely gonna watch it. Number one, because I like Ezra Miller and I do like the Flash and I'm still into Kate movies. I wouldn't pay for it, but when it comes down to it, it seems like just this gumbo of like we don't know where to go with this.
It sounds as convoluted as it was when they produced it. You know what I mean? Like all their issues in the production showed up in the film.
Yeah, like it really reflected on the final cut. Like,
and how could it not? I mean, honestly, what are you gonna do?
Like you
can't be all over the place and switching directors and leadership, and like you said, like different visions intertwined, and it not turn out to be like a Frankenstein monster.
And your crew at the end is probably, you know what I never introduced was that video. We got to do those.
Oh, we can do them at the end. Okay. That's fine.
You know what?
That way, if it like crashes, it won't kill the whole episode. So
and it's like you kind of you see that the director's changing and stuff like that, but you know who you don't think about is like everybody on set that's like, we're doing this again. Like you start getting
and the energy's starting to die and it doesn't come off as authentic and no one's heart in it anymore. Yeah, man, that makes sense.
Because now it's been filtered with like frustration.
Just
like,
wrap this shit up. Yeah. That makes sense.
I mean, I don't know. Like, do those people, are they just happy that there's like, do they want the movie to go long because they work? or like definitely not the
I
actors.
don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you negotiate your contract and you get what you get.
And then you get a
Like, if you're a Brad Pitt, he probably gets like 30 million per movie. That's it. You know what I mean? Like that's what he gets. I'm not exactly sure about that, obviously, but I kind of think that's how it goes. When you get to a certain level of success and fame, I would imagine, like
I'm sure that
like nothing less than X amount. You know what
I'm sure
saying?
there's a clause for reshoots in there, but they never, but they don't happen like, you know, often. So they're probably, yeah, I'll sign that. Yeah, I'll sign that. You know what I mean? So when it does happen, it's like,
Yeah, no,
You know
like,
what I
they're just like
mean?
on salary. Like, they're just working for free at that point.
you've now a year in and you've been Barry Allen every day for the last year. You're basically him now. You know what I mean? It's like a pain in the butt.
A movie based on nothing but pure speed takes 15 years to shoot. That sucks.
Jesus, man. You know what? The Flash is fast. Only thing that you could put next to it that would go really fast is tires.
Oh, nice.
Yes, was that a good one?
Yeah, that was decent.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we have a new little segment here. We've been kind of on a kick of watching somehow like rogue tires always find their way into hitting a person or a car. And for some reason, they always like double back for a second pass.
Destruction.
And,
Yeah.
We found this to be hilarious. We have a couple of videos. One's a montage and one of them is just one video of one thing that happened, but you'll see here in a second. Do you want to set it up at all? Or?
Okay, so listen, the very first one, dude. All right, listen, there's a ton of embarrassing things you can do on a date, but then there's the ones that are completely out of your hands. This kid's like 19 walking down the street with this really cute girl, and you see this black figure appear behind him because it's like CCTV. Like, dude, he literally got cockblocked by the Michelin Man. So you see this sucker bouncing, and dude, I mean, like nothing could have stopped this thing. I could have put a steel door in front of this thing and it would have went right through the sucker.
The destructive power of these tires is
insane.
astonishing. You would never think.
So like, imagine being so messed up, like your teeth are knocked out, your head's
It's
cracked
like a
open.
wrecking ball.
You have to be thankful that it wasn't worse. That's terrible, man. So the first one here.
Without further ado, ready? I'm gonna throw it on.
Okay. Before we started, you're driving on the street. Somebody has a blowout beside you, and then the next thing, you're 15 feet in the air. This is insane.
Really launch them like 2 feet in the air. This is, if you were in that car, you'd be fucking terrified.
Dude, yeah. Like you might.
You do
Not even yours.
Like the second time they show it where it zooms in, it's so wild, man.
Okay, keep your eyes on the white truck next to him. Now watch. Blow at the perfect time.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
No, watch it roll. Here we go.
Dude, that couple of seconds, there's a tire again. They always catch back up. That couple of seconds. Again, shit. When he's in the air, though, that must have felt like an eternity. Oh my god.
By the way, that tire caught up, which means he hit that so hard that it rolled the other way back to him, dude.
That's shocking.
That is insane.
Hollywood couldn't even reproduce the shit without Steve.
Absolutely.
So on that. Oh, we're good. I'm just gonna.
Feet in the air with your family out of nowhere, dude. That sucks so
If
bad.
you were driving next to him and the car flipped over, I bet you could look in the window and just see the terror on his face, dude.
Yeah, this is about to happen. Yeah.
Looking at you, like, turning upside down.
Worse, you're watching him, but you're like going up. Why is this happening? Oh, God.
Oh my god. Imagine if he was like on a phone call, like Bluetooth, when that happened. Person on the other line.
Imagine you're on the phone with like your loved one.
Yes.
And they're like, hello? Oh my God, we're so. Dude, and like you're perfectly fine in the air for like that 3 seconds.
He came down
when you come
hard.
down, dude, it's over, man.
You know he shit his pants. I hope he was wearing a seatbelt, dude.
By the
That's
way,
a bad one.
rest in peace to those victims. I'm sorry.
So you ended up.
Yeah.
What do you think? You want to wrap it up for today?
We can wrap it up. We just wanted to get some content.
Yeah, this was a nice, light, casual episode. Quite honestly, I'm exhausted today.
Dude, yeah. I've been exhausted all week.
But we always want to put it out there and shoot anyway, so we're going to push through no matter what happens, guys.
Just like hang in there. We're going to get on a normal schedule. We're making money again. Like this is we got good things in store. Yeah, we got good things coming up, man. Good things.
But we're never going to leave you stranded.
Exactly. No.
So, ready?
Ready.
Always remember, have your conversations, not their conversations. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your community. Let's be good people again. Until next time, thanks for watching. God bless and peace.
Boom.